That's much better.
Yeah. Now that I'm bleeding from the ears.
Yeah. Welcome to the 25 decibel Keeping Up with the Cardassians special. It's not a special. Actually,
Your special.
Every episode is special.
Yeah. On a very special episode
Of Keeping Up with the Cardassians.
I don't even think
Joe starts taking caffeine pills.
I'm so scared.
I'm so scared.
Was that the? Oh no, that wasn't the one. The episode where they did the drug anti-drug PSA.
No, it wasn't.
That was the one where
Stupid.
the guy comes in like the anti-drug guy, but he was like smoking weed.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was just so offensive to Zach. He's like, "What?
What? How dare you?" Which we know Zach was a hardcore stoner. You know he was. Anyways, this is Keeping Up with the Cardassians. I'm Nick.
This is Rob.
This is Joe."
And unfortunately, you got a preview of some of the things we talk about. We like talking about pop culture stuff. It includes movies, TV shows, music.
Saved by the Bell.
Saved by the Bell.
And it could be anything from the last 50 years.
It really could.
Literally anything.
It could. Anything could happen. It's very troubling. In the second half of the show, though, we typically review a TV show. In our first couple seasons, we reviewed Star Trek Deep Space Nine. And now we're doing Battlestar Galactica. We're in season 2 of Battlestar Galactica, and we have 2 episodes to review with you today, Scar and Sacrifice. But that'll be in the second half. In the first half, we're going to just chat. We're just going to keep up. And I want to start off with the fact that I went to the movies the other day. And I saw the Mario movie. With Chris Pratt, whose accent changes every 5 seconds in the movie. He can't pick an accent.
All right, it just came out, so remember, this is a spoiler.
I'm not spoiling it.
Yep.
I'm just insulting.
I'm not suggesting you are. I'm just reminding you.
Yep. I enjoyed the movie, though. I thought it was solid. I will give it a 7. I enjoyed it. I laughed. I had a good time. Jack Black is great as Bowser. Yeah. You know, it was good. Seth Rogen has never had a more perfect fit than being Donkey Kong. It fits him very well. It was good. I liked it. Nice in-jokes in there. It was good.
Has Seth Rogen ever played a role, or does he just get cast as Seth Rogen in every movie?
He does.
I think it's just Seth Rogen in every movie.
This time he's Seth Rogen in video game form.
Yeah, and he even uses his annoying laugh in it too. That and whatever it is.
Yeah, that's his normal laugh.
Yeah, that's Seth Rogen.
He uses.
But I don't think Seth Rogen has ever like played a role. There's like I think producers are just like we need a Seth Rogen type guy. We need a Seth Rogen. Why don't we just get Seth Rogen?
He's been in more serious movies. I can't think of the name right now.
Yeah, but he's always Seth Rogen in them.
Yeah.
He's always Seth Rogen in every movie. Like,
not a big.
I'm not saying he doesn't do serious movies. I'm saying he's Seth Rogen.
Not a big Seth Rogen fan.
Me either.
No, doesn't do it for me in the least.
So I'm looking at his movies that he's done, and let me see. More recently, gosh, he did Lion King. He was Pumbaa, which he played Seth Rogen.
He was Seth Rogen.
He was in Neighbors, Kung Fu Panda, Sausage Party, played Seth Rogen. Oh, he was in, he did Steve Jobs, he played Steve Wozniak, which he did not play Seth Rogen there.
Okay. I'll give him
He actually did a good job in that role.
I'll give him credit for that. I did not see that film.
21 Jump Street, Seth Rogen, 22 Jump Street, Seth Rogen, Green Hornet, Seth Rogen. Gosh, you're kind of right.
But he did do the one. He did step out and play a role.
Pineapple Express.
Seth Rogen.
Zach and Miri Make a Porno. I like that movie, though.
So did I.
Zach and
Miri.
Miri.
It was good.
It was enjoyable.
40-Year-Old Virgin, which is his first major role. Oh, I didn't realize he was in Donnie Darko. That's his first acting role, Donnie Darko. Which I think is one of the most...
Actually, his first acting role was that show.
Freaks and Geeks.
Thank you.
Yes.
First movie role was that. And then he did Undeclared after that. Can I talk about how Donnie Darko is one of the most overrated pieces of crap in the entire world?
I think you've actually mentioned this on the show before.
Oh, my gosh. I think it's such a bad movie. I don't understand how people like it.
I'm trying to think. I think during one of our Mount Rushmores or something where we did overrated, underrated.
Oh, my gosh,
but
so
I
over.
do believe you mentioned it on the show before. I've
Do we have
never.
a list of things Nick hates? Donnie Darko.
Yep.
Oh, that's an okay hate though. Like people will go, yeah,
But it's
There's people that are passionate about that movie. And I'm just
There
trying
are.
to poke the bear.
because they're idiots.
Nice.
Sorry to offend you.
what's going on.
People who are idiots. I didn't mean to offend you. But you're idiots. Anyways, Mario was a solid movie. I enjoyed it.
Hold on. To recap,
Okay.
Nick hates fun, women, freedom, Dave Matthews Band, democracy, and Donnie Darko.
All right, nice.
That all tracks. That all tracks.
Every time we add one to the list, we will review the list.
I like it.
In its entirety.
Okay.
Let's find some music for it.
Okay. Well, that's okay. That's okay.
It's okay to hate things.
It's okay. And I don't care what you think.
Obviously not. You hate our feelings. I'm almost tempted to put it on the list.
I particularly want Joe's thoughts on something.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
This
boy.
week, the rumor came out that HBO Max is developing a Harry Potter TV
Oh,
show.
my
Mhm.
gosh.
Erasing the movies. Not erasing the movies, but rebooting.
Mhm.
And each season is going to be based on one book.
Mm-hmm.
Go.
Why?
You know why? Green.
Money.
Money.
Money, money,
Okay,
money.
I get. Oh boy, what are you doing to me? It's early in the morning. I get it, but okay.
Okay.
I will take. There are two. To me, there are two examples of almost flawless or perfect adaptations from book to film. It's a hard transition because the book is provides significantly more detail. It builds the world much better than a 2-hour movie can. My examples are the Lord of the Ring trilogy and Harry Potter. Why? Why do these?
That's a good question. So I'm obviously
They're
not.
if the films weren't that good, or there was something that they missed, or they wanted to expand on something, but to completely revisit and reboot these stories that were told perfectly in film. Why are we doing this?
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by it. It doesn't seem like the films happened that long. What was the last one? 12 years ago? 15 years ago? Something like that?
What was it I think 2001 to 2012?
I'll look it up.
13?
It was later, I think.
Yeah.
I want to say it's about. I want to say it's done like 10 years.
Yeah, it's just surprising because
So I want to go 01 to 13.
I mean, I'm not a Potterhead, but I enjoy the movies. I enjoyed the movies far more than I ever thought I would, to be honest. I never gave them a fair shot until my daughter was reading the books and we watched them, and they're really entertaining, and the cast is real well loved, and they executed them really well. I mean, how are you gonna? I mean, Severus Snape, the guy that played him, Alan Rickman. How are you gonna replace that?
Alan Rickman. Hello, Harry.
Although someone said Benedict Cumberbatch, and I thought that was funny.
Okay, 2011 was the last Harry Potter movie.
All right, so we weren't off.
No, we went too far. But
I think they did. That's a hell of a run because they did what? 2 movies.
2001 to 2011.
So they did what? 2 movies for the last book, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
They filmed
So they
it
did
together,
8
yeah.
movies in essentially 10 years.
Yeah.
8 Harry Potter movies in 10 years. That's a hell of.
And,
that's
yeah,
that's
and
a
you
damn
watch
hell.
these kids grow up.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was really cool. But I want to say something controversial here.
That you're gonna like it, yeah.
I'm in favor of them doing this.
Really?
Okay.
Why?
Why?
Here's my reasoning. First of all, they're not releasing to cinema, so they're not basically repeating exactly what had happened before. They're stretching these books out. They're letting the material breathe a little bit more, and I think that gives them an opportunity to really truly tell the story that was told in the books. Right? Like there was some good stuff from the books that you don't get, and especially the middle movies. The first book is almost an exact adaptation because the first book is really short. But each of her books gets significantly
Yes.
longer than the other. And by the time, Deathly Hallows, you have to split up into 2. But even that could easily have been 3 movies. Easily. So I think actually making this as each season getting its own book gives the material a chance to breathe. So I think it's okay. If they just decided, hey, we're going to reboot these and redo the movies in the theaters, then I have a problem with it. But they're at least trying something different.
Okay. All right. Now my next question is, whatever. I don't even care. My next question is, why are we doing this if it's going to make J.K. Rowling money? Because if you guys remember, we just told everybody to eat shit at the video game, right?
Did we though?
Everybody did. People got
people got canceled
people
about
got
it.
canceled. People railed against the video game. They didn't want anything to do with the game.
My wife has played that video game a lot.
I play it whenever I can.
And I'm not saying one side is right or wrong. I'm just saying if we're gonna do that, who is clamoring for more Harry Potter in the wake of everything that J.K. Rowling has said and done?
So here's another controversial.
Or are we
opinion.
is J.K. Rowling distancing herself from this project?
I think she's a showrunner / writer.
Okay, so then that's.
So
I don't know if that's true or not. But
so do you remember how when a certain person was running for president years ago, people are like, "There's no way he's going to win." I haven't heard of a single person who's voting for him. I haven't heard of a single person who's voting for him, and then he wins the election because those people would not say out loud that they were going to vote for him, but when it came to the voting booth where it was more private, they went for it.
And they haven't shut up since.
I think it's the same thing with Harry Potter. They will get on Twitter. They will say things. They will say that she's canceled and I'm done with it and I'm not going to do it again. And they will eat up that material in private.
As they always have, which is my whole thing about how people pick and choose, and there's a lot of hypocrisy in. I'm not saying cancel culture is right or wrong. What I'm saying is I would just like everybody to be a little more honest with their outrage.
Well, I agree with that.
Just be a little more honest with yourself, because this reeks of hypocrisy. Right in the wake of everybody being so upset about the video game, nobody wanted to run ads for the video game. People didn't want you to pre-order it or buy it or anything. Full disclosure, my son bought the game last weekend.
Okay.
Oh, just recently.
Mm-hmm. But because his friends,
the eldest,
my oldest son, he's 16. But because his friends said that they don't want him to buy the video game because of what it would mean.
Oh my gosh.
He bought it secondhand.
Oh, so she didn't get the profits. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you buy it secondhand?
Disc replay or like used.
Gotcha. So
people buy discs.
A physical
still?
copy. Sorry. Yeah.
Who buys discs?
I do.
I know you do. You're idiots.
I just bought a CD player today.
Gentlemen, I'm going to slightly disappear for a second. I'm going to be going down.
Sweet.
I don't know if you've noticed. There's a slight buzz.
Yeah, it's bugging me.
And it's bugging me.
It was there last week. Remember, you guys thought I was crazy?
Talks amongst yourselves.
I think the buzz is all the hype for our show.
Yeah. Talks amongst yourselves.
Yeah, there'd be no buzz.
We'll just pretend you're not here, as we usually do.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Nick usually he is going down. Oh God. Thank you, Nick.
Yo, whoa. All right.
But you know who does like the Harry Potter franchise? Warner Brothers.
And anybody with a wallet.
Yeah, they need any money they could get right now. So, I don't...
The money aspect, I'm not as...
I came up from the table and they're holding hands.
Yeah?
That's just odd to me.
Usually we're under the table. We had to bring it above the table.
That's odd. That's odd.
We didn't want you to see. We didn't want you to see.
Well, God, this is gonna get bad real quick.
I love. We've advanced from show meetings to technical support mid show.
Yeah. So back to holding him.
Oh yeah.
I gotta make sure we're on video.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'm not against it if you just say it makes us a shit ton of money and we like having a shit ton of money.
Nick, that's not a mic.
I'm not against that.
Why are you talking into it?
What I am against is everybody just being okay with this.
Spit at it, Nick.
Stop it.
I'm trying to make a nuanced point, and I can't because I work with children.
It's true.
Sorry.
No, I am one of the children. I think it's hilarious that we're doing tech support mid show.
I'm gonna stop. I'm over it.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
I'm over it.
I actually didn't hear the buzzing until you guys mentioned it, and then I could hear it.
No, I heard it the entire time, but
it wasn't as bad as it could have.
Oh, sure.
So yeah, for me, like if you want to make a lot of money,
Your
just
hands
say
are soft.
You two can stop holding hands now. This is awkward.
You know, you're not even the 10th person. There've been everybody says I have soft hands.
I've heard that from myself too, but yeah, I was like, look at that.
First person to say it, I think, was in 7th grade. I think his name was Sean Kresick.
Why did Sean say this?
We were in a basketball. We played basketball together. I was on the basketball team in 7th grade, and we were in a layup drill. And
you slapped him?
He made his layup, and like he came through and did 5, and he gave me 5, and
He's like, "You got soft hands."
Yeah. I was like, "Oh, are we? I think we're dating now."
So back to here. Let's try to stay on topic. Harry Potter.
Says the guy.
Yeah.
Yep. You're right, Nick. Let's stay on track.
So I was shocked.
Says the guy who interrupts the show for
Yeah.
IT.
The buzzing was bugging me.
You know what? I apologize, Nick. My story
Yeah.
took us off track.
You've ruined the whole show. We're gonna have to start from the beginning.
Well, that's always a possibility too.
Yeah, it is true.
I just to wrap up my point, because I don't want to belabor the issue on this, but if you want to make money, that's fine. I don't see the point in rebooting Harry Potter. And I especially don't see the point in rebooting Harry Potter if it's going to benefit J.K. Rowling, because I was under the impression that she was like persona non grata, right?
Okay.
And anything that is done that benefits her is seen as taking sides. So is HBO taking sides? Are the showrunners taking sides? I don't see it that way, but I think a lot of the people who are outraged by this stuff do.
Yeah.
And it's just surprising to me that they announce a new Harry Potter. Now, when you talk about like the fringe Harry Potter stuff, where it's not necessarily directly related to J.K. Rowling, like it's based on her world, but it's not like based on the books that she wrote. I don't know.
I just worry that lightning doesn't strike twice.
There's that. My points are all like have nothing to do with the actual material.
Yeah,
I think the material is so good, it's going to be hard to mess it up.
But you gotta cast kids again.
Yeah, and you got to cast well.
And you've got to cast well, and it's supposed to last 8 years.
But if you watch the first couple of Harry Potter movies, they're not good actors and actresses.
But
they really develop into it.
But what happened?
They're
They're
perfect.
kids.
They're perfect for what those books were.
Yeah.
They were the first couple of books were whimsical, and they were significantly more kid friendly. They were almost like children's content.
Yeah.
Whereas by the time you get to the last book, those are, but then the kids who are
Then
reading,
you got Nick under the table.
but the kids who are reading that book at 10 or 12 are reading the last book at 20.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool about the books is how they kind of age with their initial readers.
Yeah, it's great. I like
So
that.
I don't know. Again, with a lot of this stuff, it's you. Although Harry Potter is really easy to get kids into. A lot of other materials where you go back to something that was 20 years old and you're like, now you're trying to play to the crowd that aged with it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So you're banking on a little bit of nostalgia and hoping that the new generation of children maybe glom on to something that their parents or older siblings liked. Whereas with Harry Potter, I think that's a continual cycle of kids just love it.
At least for a number of decades.
Yeah, I don't see that ending anytime soon.
Yeah.
So you have that, but I agree. I don't, you got to cast right. Everything the movies did, they did perfectly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
are people going to accept a new kid as Harry Potter?
That's the tough part. Like, are they
or
gonna,
Hermione Granger or
Are they
Ron
gonna accept-
Weasley? Like
Seth Rogen as Snape? I mean, that's the thing you gotta look at. Hey, Harry.
oh my god! Now when they
Actually, I could see him playing. Oh my gosh,
Hagrid.
yeah. Now
Yeah.
when they cast Chris Pratt as Dumbledore, then I'm out
Oh my gosh.
because
Chris Pratt's gonna be Harry Potter.
Chris Pratt's in everything. Oh. Can we move on to something that makes me more happy and excited?
Is it the Star Wars announcement?
No.
Yes.
the Barbie trailer.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Have you seen the recent Barbie trailer?
Barbie's all over.
Where they're talking about the beach off. You want to beach me off at the end of the...
I'll beat you off all day.
I'll beat you off all day. It looks incredible.
I was really kind of surprised that there was adult content. I thought it was going to be... I guess I thought it would be more
For
juvenile, I guess.
Yeah. I think
I was
it's meant to make
surprised.
fun of the whole brand, right?
I'm okay with that. I love it.
I love how all the Barbies are Barbie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all the
Hi,
Kens
Barbie.
are, hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie. That was pretty great. I'm like, or like when she took off her high heels, her feet
Yeah.
stayed completely up. And
There's really good humor in this.
That trailer was phenomenal.
Yeah.
now the question is the trailer going to be the funniest part of the movie? Because sometimes movies do that.
Oh, for
right?
sure.
There were some movies that did that more recently, like the Sherlock Holmes movie that Will Ferrell made with John C. Reilly.
Oh, yeah.
The funny bits were all in the
Yeah.
trailer, and that movie was just abysmal.
No, I don't. All right. I'm really concerned with what the plot is going to be in this movie, which is concerning to say. Like I'm worried about the plot of a Barbie movie.
It's concerning you said that.
I mean, it
You know
looks
what's
like
even more concerning when the three of us go to see it together.
I know.
it looks like they're going to real
real world.
Will Ferrell looks like he's the president or something like that, or something.
President Business.
President Business. Yeah.
Well, they said that at the end of the trailer where you go to they're going to the real world or whatever it was.
Yeah, exactly. And he was like, "Did you at least bring your rollerblades?"
Of course I did.
That'd be hilarious if he was president. If his character was
That would
President
be a
Business.
shared universe.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Oh
A
my
toy shared
gosh,
universe.
that would be amazing.
If it was owned by Hasbro.
Ugh. There were some other good.
Not, though.
There were
That's
some
not.
other good trailers that came out as well, though. Like they released another trailer for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
I didn't see that.
That the initial trailer they released, I wasn't that interested in it. But the new trailer, they have the voices of Tobey Maguire is in there and Andrew Garfield
really?
is in there. So I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. So they're putting them in that universe. So that looks exciting to me. Maybe it wasn't all trailers because the other thing wasn't a trailer, but it was news about Peacemaker season 2, and that's not premiering until after Superman Legacy.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, so that pretty much means Peacemaker season 2 is going to tie in the Superman Legacy. I'm assuming,
Or he just doesn't have time.
or he
until-
doesn't have time to tell it
Do we have now? Do we have a release date or?
for Superman Legacy.
Yeah.
2025, right?
There's a release date in there.
Yeah,
It's July something.
July of 2025.
I worry that
It's going to
it's
get pushed.
It's too late.
Too long of a distance between season 1 and season 2 of Peacemaker.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
because
because that'll be 4
Peacemaker-
years.
Peacemaker season 1 was so good.
It was so good.
Yes, it was.
It was so
Why
good.
not? I get you want to tie it in, but then,
And
I worry.
It was a really original story too.
It was,
actually, I
yeah.
thought they did a really good job with it.
It was kind of a little bit of what they want to do going forward.
Yeah.
I mean, different characters, original stories of characters that we aren't as familiar
And-
with.
Developing characters.
Yes,
And yeah, and they were great. They were done really, really well.
I just
Yeah, all
worry
of
that
them.
4 years is too long of a break.
4 years is way too long.
Yeah. There was other news as well.
That Star Wars news you guys want to talk about?
Well, there's that, but Donald Glover did say the Community
Yes!
movie is happening.
Yep.
Minus Chevy Chase, of course, because you can't put that guy in
Well, he's
there.
dead in the show.
Well, I mean that doesn't.
Nick gave him diabetes.
Yeah.
Did you see what Roseanne did? They find ways. They find ways around deaths. The Connors. They brought Dan back from the dead.
Oh, that's
they
true.
basically just
I for-
errated
I
season
forgot.
9.
Or they're doing a I Am Legend Part 2, and they're basically using the alternate ending from that movie and pretending like the original ending didn't matter.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like so now we live in the era where films are retconning themselves, like so
because
they can make
it's
sequels.
money.
It's money.
Because I Am Legend was a great movie. I thought it was a great movie. I thought it ended well.
I didn't like the ending.
No,
No, I didn't like the ending. I liked the alternate ending much better. I don't know if you
wanted a
saw.
sequel.
No, I don't know if you saw the alternate
He's a
ending.
studio
but
exec.
I mean, it turns out that they basically have consciousness, and like he had taken the mate of one of the beings or whatever, and once
Yeah,
he
he
gave it
did.
back to them, they just left. So I like that. It showed that they were alive and thinking, and they weren't just mindless beings. And I dug that. And then he lives in that one, versus in the other one where he blows everyone up.
No, I see. I like when they don't live.
Yeah.
It's art. I don't like
It's
it.
risky.
I don't
You
like
don't
it when
like happy endings.
No, I do. I love happy endings. I just don't like. I just don't like.
Well done, sir.
You were under the table earlier. You know.
Yeah.
I just don't like everybody living at the end of every single movie because
The dog died.
Fine.
That was sad.
I'm gonna get a lot of hate. Fine. Kill the dog.
Jerk.
I don't care.
Dog deaths are sadder than human deaths in movies.
I don't
to me.
necessarily disagree, depending on the dog and or human.
Yeah, that's true. Depends.
But
on
I like when movies take risks and kill and tell the story that they wanted to tell.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I get it that the alternate ending does open the door for future films,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes you don't need a future film. Tell the story, make the art, and let it be.
Let it be.
Let it be. Let it be. Let it be.
I want to hear you guys talk about the Star Wars thing.
I don't want to talk about it because it's going to make me frustrated and angry.
Joe, poke him.
Actually, so there's three. So they announced 3 movies, but they're not a trilogy. But they just announced 3 movies. One is set during the High Republic era.
Mm-hmm.
One is set during the Rebels era.
Yep.
Because it's Dave Filoni wrapping up his story, and then the other is set after Rise of Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about rebuilding the Jedi Order with Rey as the Jedi Master.
So, judging from the look on your face,
Cool.
you're not pleased.
I'm not pleased, but
Tell
I
me more.
wouldn't have been pleased. Okay, so there was rumors for a while there that they were going to basically retcon the new trilogy and just be like, we're gonna make a whole other trilogy.
Time loop.
Yeah.
Time loop.
Yeah. And that frustrated me too, but at the same time, like they butchered some of my favorite. They butchered Luke Skywalker, so I'm like, okay, that's fine.
At this point, what does it matter?
What does it matter?
They've
That's kind of where I've gotten.
Absolutely
They've ruined all the goodwill.
burned everything to the ground.
Yeah.
The original trilogy is almost. It can't even really stand on its own anymore. It's surrounded by so much mediocrity and cash grabs and just it's.
I just that's all the energy I have about it.
Did they say there's different directors already?
Yes.
So who are the directors?
Anybody
we know?
I only
Ron
know.
Howard.
I only know of Dave Filoni. I didn't.
That's
catch the
Felonious.
I didn't catch the other 2 names.
Okay.
But that's okay. I mean, Dave Filoni will be fine. I know he'll do a good movie, but I kind of don't care about that era as much as other people do. Like the Star Wars Rebels era, I don't really care.
I know that I've mentioned this before, but I really do wish they would use some of the book material.
I know. Well,
Because the book material was so good. It built such a great universe.
well, they're doing Heir to the Empire in Star Wars Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Because they announced Lars Mikkelsen as Grand Admiral Thrawn, which is an amazing casting. So they'll knock it out of the park with Ahsoka. I'm pretty sure they will.
I just want a Shadows of the Empire movie.
I want Shadows of the Empire too.
I don't know.
You're not going to get it though.
I literally don't know.
You're not going to get it.
No, we'll never get it.
Star Wars, in a lot of ways, right now is kind of what's happened with Star Trek more recently, where they've ruined a lot of that goodwill.
I think Star Wars has ruined way more goodwill than Star Trek has.
I don't know. For a lot of Star Trek fans, so first, a couple things. A lot of Star Trek fans hated DS9, and then they came out with the new Star Trek movies with J.J. Abrams, and they hated those. And then they come out with Discovery, and they hated that. So
Well, in all fairness, Discovery wasn't very good.
No, it wasn't, but still fascinating to me.
I don't know. I've seen more of the Star Wars content than I have the Star Trek content. So I guess I can't really speak intelligently about the comparison of the two. I just feel like Star Wars has done so much damage to its legacy, I guess, or it's I don't know, its aura in pop culture. It just seems like to me it just seems like Marvel now.
Yeah.
We got all this stuff. We're gonna make movies and shows. You like it, you don't go piss up a rope or something. Like, who cares? We're gonna make it. It's gonna suck.
I'm thinking about how peeing up a rope would actually look.
Somebody,
That would be difficult.
my dad has a ton of sayings, and one of them he says, "Why don't you go piss up a rope and suck the wet end of it?"
All right,
And I don't.
new segment of the show. One of your dads saying every week.
Oh my gosh, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
Quickly, Picard. What'd you think of this week's episode? I know it's on Saturday on our YouTube channel.
Mhm.
But what'd you think?
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good. I feel like it was kind of a continuation of last week's in a lot of ways. It felt very tonally similar.
I thought it was far superior, though.
I think yeah, it was good.
This is episode 8 of 10.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, they only have 2 more left. I don't care about Jack. I don't care.
I agree.
More of a lock guy, huh?
Nice.
I just don't care. It's very annoying. I think I'd be okay with it if they had stopped teasing it and gotten to it a lot sooner, but they're dragging it out, and that is annoying to me.
And on the YouTube, I'll talk about if something isn't up with him, I'm going to be a little annoyed.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that on YouTube.
We'll talk about that on YouTube.
We
But
What about you,
absolutely
Joe?
Loved it.
Loved it?
Loved
Yeah.
it. Big
Loved it.
fan.
Big fan. So
I'm
big.
glad they did another one.
So big.
So big.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, it was the 8th episode. So it was. So
Things
there's
happened.
Yep. So there's only 2 more. That's a bummer.
Yeah. And Picard was in it.
Yeah.
That's true.
And
Worf was in there too.
yeah, you gotta like what Worf was doing. He
All
was-
right. I have actually a question related to Worf, because Worf in this Picard is older. He's gray and everything. How far apart from DS9 is this supposed to be? Like 10 years, right?
No. Because it was 35 years from the Next Generation, from when they met on the Enterprise.
Okay. So we're
We're still
we're
25 years.
we're
out from
25 years. Because Cleons live a long time. Cleons lived to like 200 and something years.
How old was he on DS9?
We don't know.
160?
Maybe he just grays, man.
Maybe
Some people
He
gray
didn't look
earlier.
he didn't
maybe
look
he
any-
just dyed it
Yeah.
all along.
Or some people lose their
are
hair.
people
Some people
are
get
doing that
gray.
now.
Some people maintain their hair color. I'm just saying.
It's true. That's
Maybe
true.
he's been through a lot of things in his life, so maybe he's a little stressed, and then the gray
Maybe.
comes out.
Hey, I get it. I'm
That
getting a
quote
little more
about
gray.
him, like, I thought about sending my severed heads of my enemies to you, but I thought that would be unwise or something.
Passive aggressive.
Passive aggressive. That was a pretty funny quote.
So I got a little funny story. So yesterday, my daughter was trying to throw Star Trek quiz at me.
Oh my gosh.
how'd
Good
that go?
luck, lady.
Yeah, and it was funny because she was getting literally so mad every time she would barely finish a question. I'd be like, Livingston. And she's like, how do you know that? And it was just, I recorded one little blurb of it. I'm going to put it on probably the YouTube or something afterwards. It was just, her reaction made the whole thing worth it.
Okay.
How would you rate the questions on
Some
scale
were-
of difficulty?
Well, some were downright easy. I mean, if you were a TNG guy back in the 90s, you knew who
Were they
Picard's
all
fish
TNG?
was. No. She got me with like the Voyager Enterprise stuff.
She got you?
Yeah, the Voyager Enterprise I was a little weak
I
on.
could be okay on Voyager stuff. Enterprise not
Yeah.
good on.
I knew some
I
more
would-
things about Enterprise than I thought I did.
I'd be excited if I got one right.
Well, guess what? There's a book downstairs, and we're going to ask you questions.
Oh, yay. Ooh, that would be a fun
New segment.
Patreon.
Nick
That
and
would
Rob
be fun.
embarrassed Joe with his
How are
lack
you going to
of-
be embarrassed when we know you don't know the answers?
Yeah, we're going to be like, what's up, nerd? You don't know all the Star Trek trivia? Nerd.
In 2365, the Enterprise...
Oh.
Wait, can finish that question?
How much dilithium can
Picard.
be stored in the Enterprise E versus the Enterprise D?
2 liters.
More.
What is the square footage of the different
Wait,
Enterprises?
do you even know the answer?
No. 'cause
Yeah, then don't ask the question.
What was so groundbreaking about the Star Trek Voyager when it was launched?
That it was
It was,
there was a
There was actually a couple things.
that it
a
was
starship, not
a
an
female
Enterprise.
captain.
Well, no. Well, I mean, yeah, technically. Even though the Enterprise C had a female captain.
Well, nobody.
no
cares.
regular.
Yeah, regular. Well, the warp nacelles could bend,
Yeah.
right? So it didn't damage the warp field, but also the gel packs,
Oh, yeah, the
biometric gel packs.
I'm a nerd.
Yeah. All right, should we move on to Battlestar Galactica now?
If we have to.
Yeah, let's move on to Battlestar Galactica now.
Sure.
All right. So we're moving on to Battlestar Galactica. We have 2 episodes to review with you. We have Scar and Sacrifice. Scar and Sacrifice. So let's start with Scar. Scar is an episode where
Scar.
Starbucks are drunk. So, this is basically the episode.
The end.
Starbucks are drunk. She's basically living off of past accolades and not like, she sucks now. And Kat basically calls her and says, "You suck." And Starbuck's like, "Wait, no, you suck." And Kat's like, "No, you suck.
Your mom sucks.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the entire episode. You suck. No, you do.
But
I mean, in a nutshell.
they're fighting.
Like, you have my attention.
They're basically arguing about this. In the meantime, they're arguing about all this because there's a Cylon fighter that they've nicknamed Scar that's basically trashing all their pilots. It's the Cylon Ace of Aces, and they're trying to figure out how it works. And Sharon goes to Starbucks like, they don't die. When they die, they get resurrected. So think about this. It's died over and over and over again, and it accumulates all that experience, but it also accumulates the anger from dying. So that's an angry fighter that you're fighting. So they get to know her a little bit more. Meanwhile, Starbucks wants to rescue Anders, but they're not going to rescue Anders. They're like, deal with it. So she decides after the death of one of the rookies to go try to sleep with Lee, but then get pissed at him for trying to sleep with him. And she continues to get drunk. She gets so drunk that she calls in on the next shift and sends out a rookie pilot who gets killed again. Kat blames Starbuck, as always. So they get assigned together to go fight Scar, and Starbuck charges directly ahead at Scar, but at the last minute she pulls out because she pictures Anders. So Hilo tells her, now you have something to live for instead of to die for. And Kat kills Scar, so she gets the mug as the ace pilot, and basically that's the end of the episode.
Okay, I have a big issue with what you just said.
Okay.
You didn't say Top Gun once.
No, I did not say Top Gun once, but
and it was specifically mentioned.
They did say it's Top Gunner?
The mug says
Top
Galactica
Gun?
Top Gun. They say Top Gun. There's a lot of Top Gun references in this episode.
Do you like that?
I like the references.
Was there any top pod?
Well, Lee was shirtless.
That's true.
And he didn't look as good as we did.
Yeah, and that Patreon, man. Ooh.
So
Lee was shirtless at one point.
So there were a lot of Top Gun references. I want to point out a couple.
Yeah.
I mean, the actual Top Gun.
Yeah.
Mentioning of Top Gun.
On the beer stein.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Starbuck being dangerous and being called out by the
dangerous.
You're dangerous up there. So in this Maverick is Starbuck is Maverick and Kat is Iceman.
Yeah.
Because Kat ends up being Top Gun.
Yeah, Kat ends up being and Kat was right all along about Starbuck.
Right all along.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest nod, or one of the most subtle, but I loved this nod, was at the end of the episode
when she chopped her teeth at Starbuck.
No, I don't think she did that.
No, she didn't.
At the end of the episode,
when
they're fighting, when they're boxing.
Yeah.
Okay, the score is like this guitar, almost like a, and it's the same guitar and same tone as when, spoiler alert, Goose dies.
What?
I play it. I don't know if you can play it at some point, but it is I would be surprised if it wasn't a direct nod to Top Gun.
Let me see what I can do. Give me a second here while
Just
I'm
look
trying.
at the behind the scenes stuff.
Other than that, I hated this episode.
You hated it.
Yes,
I
think Starbuck is a scumbag. I was so annoyed and mad at her the entire episode. Like, just get your shit together.
Well,
like,
yeah.
Nobody cares. Stop pouting.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, oh my, I was
Get
so,
your act together. Yeah.
They've been inconsistent with her level of
annoyance.
Yeah, her level of psychological issues.
See, I've been thinking like they're intentionally building her up to falling apart. Like that's what's going on over the span of the last couple and we see that continued in the next episode.
Well, then they haven't been doing it well then.
She's not.
I was so annoyed with her this episode.
Yeah.
So annoyed.
It was just
all her mannerisms, like it's everything just. Oh, I was so annoyed. Maybe it was when I watched it, or I don't know. I just found her to be incredibly annoying.
Yeah,
this episode.
She was not the best.
I think Kat was right all along.
Right.
I think Starbuck made some monumental errors.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, like she was too hungover to go and fly, and a rookie pilot gets killed because of her.
Mm-hmm.
Or she tells the one pilot like fight him, like charge.
Yeah, don't run.
Don't
I mean,
run.
in this,
Run, you die.
in this episode alone, she's directly responsible for
Multiple deaths.
for
yeah.
two pilot deaths.
Exactly. And she's not the CAG, but she's definitely like she oversees the.
Didn't she get promoted to CAG though?
She was on the
On
Pegasus,
Pegasus.
but now she's back on the Galactica. She's not a good CAG.
No, not at all. I'm just saying.
She's not a good. What is she?
Captain.
She's not a good captain.
No.
She's a great pilot. Great pilot. I don't think anybody can take that away from her. When she's up in the skies, again, like Maverick, I think she's dangerous, but when she's up in the skies, don't you want her with you? I think you're better.
Sorry, it's the fighting
Why
scene.
didn't you do it?
Probably would have died in the process. Bastard was too good.
Not the same song with the tone.
Yeah.
Couple months ago,
Yeah,
Same
just
feel.
yeah,
thought about that. Would have just gone. For
I
the
get that.
door.
It's got the '80s synthesizer guitar.
Quit kicking yourself. You did the right thing and called in your wingman. Okay? Scar's dead. You and Cat.
Okay, now while we discuss, can you pull up the Top Gun part? Like Top Gun Goose dies.
Like the Goose dies are like their memorial for Goose.
I think it's almost any time that they're
Talk about Goose.
talking about Goose after he dies.
Morning Goose. Here we go. Oh, this is from here we go. Give me a second because it's got to play the.
But
yeah,
again, they
commercials.
mentioned Wingman.
Yep.
So there's a lot of Top Gun references in this,
Okay.
which I loved.
Of course.
Everything else sucked.
Yeah, I wasn't didn't want to be involved in this episode, to be honest with
It
you.
felt too like drama-y to me.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Joe's seen Top Gun a few times.
It's almost like
It's
direct.
I know.
Okay. Good job on pulling those audio clips.
Nice,
Nick.
Joe.
No. Well done, Nick.
There you
Yeah,
go.
well done. You couldn't have told him earlier though.
No. Okay. In my defense, how long in real time? How long was it before from the time I walked in the door to the time he pushed the record button?
That's true.
I'm under 10 minutes.
He doesn't like to use lube. You're right.
Under 10 minutes.
Yeah.
No, I
might
like
say-
to get right to it.
I might say under 5 minutes.
That's kind of his specialty.
But okay, so all the drama, like the whole thing with the stuff with Lee, I can't even believe I have to discuss this. It's irritating.
with his characterization.
No,
or
when she went at him.
Yeah,
when
when
they
they were
started
like gonna have sex, like
That scene was terrible.
it was awful.
It was terrible.
and then she was like, "What are you doing? Slow down, slow down."
no, he
Yeah.
was saying that. Yeah,
Yes.
I know,
Yeah.
and
like
yeah,
she's
It was just a terrible scene. Actually, you're right. That was a terrible scene.
and
see, it's so funny. I don't think it was great, but I don't think it's terrible.
it was so bad. What they're doing, I think
So bad.
I think the romantic stuff that they're trying to do with Lee
Yeah,
is taking away from his character.
they're
development.
struggling with Lee. I
Yeah,
think Lee
because-
is a character that this show seems to struggle with a lot.
because the stuff with Starbuck is just it's bad. There's sometimes you're like, oh
Up front earlier, it wasn't bad.
no, it seemed like there was.
they don't know what to do right now.
Yeah, they're lost a little bit. I think
It seems
yeah.
like they've lost a lot of that natural chemistry that they had in the early days.
Well, I think that this is where I feel like part of it is intentional to show like what's going on, how lost both characters really are. Right? They're both wrecks. Like we saw Lee was suicidal, and then he's sleeping with this prostitute. You have Starbuck, who's just not good at her job anymore. That's the one thing she was good at. She was a train wreck in life, but a great fighter pilot, and now she's not that.
I don't know that she's not a great fighter pilot. She's like
Yeah,
I
I
said,
guess that's
once
true.
she's in the skies,
She's fine.
She's gold.
Yeah.
But well, she had a little moment here,
But was it a moment? I mean, she was just
but-
playing chicken with it.
right? And I give her credit for recognizing that she couldn't recognizing the moment to allow Kat to take the shot.
Mm-hmm.
It's just everything once she's out of the skies. She's a wreck. She's doing nothing right. Like in the next episode, we'll see.
Yeah.
She's doing nothing.
She's a
doing
train
nothing.
wreck. If she's not careful, I'm gonna have to give her
diabetes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, She's drinking, so she's probably not eating very well. So I think diabetes is probably on.
So she's gonna get yeah. She's gonna get diabetes.
Is that Wilford Brimley?
Yes.
Nice.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Diabetes. All right. Starbuck is weak in this one. We know that. There were some things that I thought were really good. Like the whole time she's like, don't remember their names. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? And at the end, as she's giving the toast, she names every single name of the pilot. You thought that was bad?
Cheesy.
Oh, I like that.
I thought it was the best part of the episode.
Yeah. That was my thing too. Is like I thought it was the strongest part of the episode, like the emotional climax.
Well, I get what they're doing with the character, showing that she doesn't care, but in the long run, her hidden thing is that she has invested so much in these people that she does care, and that's probably part of her issue weighing her down.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
It's very rare I don't take any notes.
Yeah.
And I took 0 notes.
Yeah.
There's nothing noteworthy.
Yeah.
We're not on a good run. There's not some episodes right in a row here that aren't a good run. In fact, I actually looked just for kicks, and this run right here that we're on now, starting with
Epiphany.
Well, no, Epiphany was a decent rated one. Starting with Black Market, there's 4 in a row that are the lowest rated episodes of this season.
Okay.
They bounce back, but they're still lower rated.
Now, okay, so that scene that you're talking about at the end was preceded by one of the most annoying things on the entire episode.
What is it?
Nick's voice?
No. I wasn't annoyed when she was like, hey, Starbuck,
fill my mug.
Fill my mug. Fine. She bet. That's fine. It's the whole...
what is Starbuck gonna do?
It's just standing there forever. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, the long drawn out. I'm gonna grab the bottle, walk up, and then the whole like,
or just standing there for
just like pouring in half of it, spilling over, and
while making direct eye contact with it. Yeah,
so over the top.
I agree. I forgot. I was like,
because it set me up for like, oh my god, and then she's like, I do remember the names, which, you know. It would be a good. I think it would have landed stronger for me because if all that crap
if she just came up casually, filled it up, and
even had a sarcastic comment or whatever, or like
had
a
good
little
job, Cat. Right?
No, not even that. Even a little back and forth, had a little Starbuck Cat moment.
I had to set you up for you to get the kill, something like that.
Yeah.
I get that.
But I get the point that they're making, like. Those names will stick with you no matter what. Even if no matter how much you say it doesn't bother you, it does.
Yeah.
And I get that. And I think I think that's true. It just followed one of the most irritating scenes of the entire episode for me.
I can get that, because it's interesting what they're trying to set up too between Kat and Starbuck here, right? You're supposed to initially Kat was like this annoying character.
Oh, she's still annoying. That voice. Oh.
I know. Hear me out. Like where she was just annoying, right? And then now we're getting to the point in this episode where we're like, well, but she's right. Like before, you're like, you're just annoying. Starbuck is better than you. Deal with it. Now it's clear. Kat is a better pilot right now.
Oh, when they did the G spin,
yeah,
and then she's like 5.
That was actually a pretty cool scene. Actually, now that I think about it, that was a fun scene where they were. Gosh, I couldn't do that. And they hand him a loaded gun.
I know. At first, when they did that, at first I was like, "Oh, it's target practice." But then when the one guy was like, "Whoa," and everybody was moving out of the way, I'm like, "This guy has a goddamn loaded gun. What are they doing?"
I like it.
We're gonna put everybody in a super spin, and then just hand them a loaded gun.
Spin it.
You know what I think?
And they wonder why they're losing pilots left and right.
You know what I think it is about this episode? Why it takes everything Top Gun did and does it significantly worse.
You don't know what Top Gun did, though. You've never seen it.
I've never seen Top Gun.
You haven't, have you?
Yes, I have.
Hasn't he said in the show he's never seen Top Gun?
No, I've seen Top Gun multiple times.
I think it's Mission Impossible. He said he's never seen.
Yeah, I've seen Top Gun multiple times.
I think he did say it, though. I think you're right.
Yeah, I've seen Top Gun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Looking at you suspiciously.
No, I have seen Top Gun multiple times.
But you're right. I loved all the Top Gun references. I really did.
Yeah.
But I wasn't expecting it to do it Top Gun 1-to-1 and do it better, but
Right.
Yeah.
I was just surprised that they handed them loaded guns.
So we've talked about the meat of this episode, and that's fine. Now I want to kind of go off into other points about this episode and talk about those points. One of the points is the idea that the Cylon Raiders, when they die, they basically get resurrected, and then they can go and fight.
Not anymore.
Not anymore, yes, which is a fear of, that now that's why they're not fighting, they're not attacking as swiftly because they can die now. And then she goes, Starbuck goes and have a conversation with Sharon about this, and she's like, wouldn't it be great? You spend all this time and all this money and all this energy training your pilots, and then they die, and then you have to start over from scratch. The Cylons don't have to do that.
That's a great point.
So why do the Cylons suck at fighting then? Why are they not good fighters?
Because it'd be bad storytelling.
Yeah.
Also, I think it's born out of necessity.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you know that your life is at risk, and there's no when you know that you're coming back,
It's desperation.
okay,
You're not going to be as
now,
good as
now
Chris.
I'm gonna now. So my analogy is video games.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you put in a cheat code and you have infinite lives. You're gonna play loose and fast, aren't you?
Yeah, a little more careless.
You're just gonna
yeah.
jump when you die. Oh, who cares? I get infinite lives.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if I make the jump. I have infinite number of tries to make the jump or to beat this level.
Yeah.
When you have 5 lives or 3 lives, you put a lot more into playing the level, making the jump, doing
Gosh.
all those things.
You can even word that differently. If you play a video game today versus going to play an old
Oh,
Nintendo
yeah.
game, and then you realize how bad you are at Nintendo games now. But back when you played those Nintendo games,
Right.
like Mega Man, I was really good at Mega Man back in the day. I could beat that game, like barely ever lose a
Mm-hmm.
life. Now I try to go back, I can't get past the first level. I die like 9
But it's not
times.
even it's not even age. It's just when you
It's not
when
age,
you know
it's-
when you know you have infinite resources, you're not as careful with those resources.
Well, and not only that, but you're not, your reflexes aren't as good. You're not reacting as quickly as you could react.
right, but because because they don't need to be.
Yeah, exactly. I can just go in there, like if I'm playing a game like Elder Scrolls or whatever, and I know the second I die, it picks me up at my last autosave. I might take a risk and be like, well, if I die, I'm just going to get rebooted here, and then I can,
Well, plus, if you think about it, how many of those Silent Raiders have actually died? Not a ton of them.
And that's a good point because they
Yeah.
just started the war.
Yeah, they just came at them. So
and they
didn't
obliterated the
they didn't
colonial
lose
fleet.
anybody at the colonies, and they just started losing people to the Pegasus and the Galactica. So
Yeah.
not a lot of those Cylons have probably died over and over again, and then the majority of them haven't.
Yeah. Now it is interesting that Scar has died and been
Scar.
resurrected multiple times, yet his ship is all torn up. That implies to me that he hasn't died because he just keeps getting battle damage.
Maybe he put the marks.
But he
in
did
there.
look
Do you,
badass.
do you get a brand new body, or do you just get like some old rented body?
I don't know. That's a great question.
When you
Well,
die.
Sharon's get other bodies, right? They get the same body.
So maybe that ship looks like that all along. Every ship, every iteration of
maybe-
that ship,
maybe
just looks
every
like
iter-
manufactured with the most recent memory or what its condition.
With the scars on it. I mean, I thought that was kind of cool to show a.
Did you guys notice that when Scar dies, when it blows up, there's a little bit of red?
Yeah,
yeah,
the guts come out.
Yeah.
that was a pretty cool. That
that's
was
the first time we've seen that.
yeah, that was kind of nice. I like that.
I was
Showing
like,
that
oh, a little bit of
now that we know they're alive,
Yeah.
they've decided to embrace that a little bit more. I like that part. I don't know.
there was something else. I think there was something else in this episode. I forget.
I'm gonna look at the notes real quick.
Yeah, see if I want to know any Top Gun production notes
Let me see. Let me
because
just.
there were a lot of nods, which made me really happy.
No, there's no Top Gun production notes.
That's horse shit.
There's none.
I want to talk to Ron.
Maybe they can't admit it.
They can you can admit inspiration.
Maybe they don't want to.
Oh, I'm sorry. You don't want to admit that you were inspired by one of the greatest movies of all time?
Oh, so the chair in which the pilots spin to get dizzy before their accuracy test was based on a similar device at Edwards Air Force Base. The test there was to point one's finger accurately rather than to fire a weapon.
What a step up.
Right.
Go from finger guns to
Game-
loaded guns.
Gamesmanship.
Listen, if you're you know what? They need to be accurate. That's
Yeah.
what we were just saying. They're not Cylons. They don't have infinite lives.
Yep.
They need to be accurate.
Mm-hmm. All right. No real good production notes here.
We can go to Sacrifice then.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing that really stands out.
I was bummed this wasn't a Lion King spoof.
Scar. Be prepared. Oh, that's great. All right. Sacrifice. Here we go. The press has learned that there's a Cylon being held in the brig of the Galactica. And Adama says she's a valuable source of information. She's not going anywhere. And Billy.
Oh, Billy.
You're welcome.
Look at you.
Did you prepare this week?
I'm prepared this
Did
week.
he sleep over? Like, was he here like at night after you went to bed, just putting in sound
I guess
drops?
so.
Shut your mouth.
Diabetes.
Okay, I mean, not your best work, but
No, because I'm threatening you. I'm threatening you with that.
oh yeah, you're really going out.
Oh, as you're eating the
As I'm
donut.
eating a donut, you're really going out on a limb here.
Yeah. Okay. So with all this happening, Billy proposes marriage to Dee, and she's like, "Nah, bro." And later, Billy finds Dee out on a date with Lee. Dee is on a date with Lee. I love it. Meanwhile, there's a lady who's angry and wants the Cylon dead, so she decides to, with a couple of her people, take Cloud9 hostage. She takes the whole bar hostage, which has Lee and Dee and Billy and
Ty.
and Ellen. And
What is this, an episode of Melrose Place?
I know. They're all hostages, and Lee tries to break them out, but it doesn't work. Then Adama gets Starbuck with the group to break him out, and Starbuck actually shoots Lee and makes things even worse by accident. And Rosalind and Adama basically all agree that they cannot give in the terrorists, so they give the dead body of Sharon,
Space Boomer.
Space Boomer, to the lady, and she figures out who it is. As they're doing this, Billy charges the one guy, steals a gun, shoots him, but Billy gets shot too.
Oh, Billy.
And then and then Lee or Dee holds him in his arms, crying out,
Oh, Billy.
and he dies. And the Marines kill the remaining gunmen and free the hostage, and Rosalind mourns,
Oh, Billy.
and she says that was the closest thing she had to family. And Dee sits with Lee in the sick bay as Starbuck looks on.
Can I get one more?
Oh, Billy.
I hope. It's unfortunate that you just now did this and he dies. I hope he's a Cylon so he comes back.
Well, Adama is still Billy. Is Bill Adama.
It's not the same. He was that kid was a Billy.
Yeah,
he
he
was a
was.
Billy.
That kid was a straight up Billy, right? All right, so we have a hostage situation episode, and we have Ellen Ty.
Well, first of all,
That scene with her
Lee.
Lee.
Oh, what's got it? Okay.
And she goes right for it, man. She is a dirtbag.
She is. So in the scene, this referencing, Lee wants to hide. He notices what's going on. So he grabs Ellen because she's close to him and goes and says, come to the bathroom. And she's like, is this happening, Lee? Is this really happening? Lee, you dirty dog. And she was disappointed.
I did like that.
That
though.
cracked me up. I was
I
like,
thought that was hilarious.
yeah.
That was great. And Lee has no clue what she's talking
No,
about.
not at all.
Because
Clue.
he's too focused on what's going on around them.
I think we are. I think it's well established that Lee has no idea what women, like the signals that women send.
No idea. The guy is out in
Starbuck.
left field.
Like he has no idea what's happening with Starbuck.
Well,
D.
No clue.
Starbuck has no idea what's happening with Starbuck.
True, but
Starbuck wants you to just
but
get
it
laid.
is a larger larger
It's more
part
of,
of my
Lee's.
point.
Yeah. And
it's
then
like-
Ellen and
Ellen, it's just over his head.
the call girl that he was sleeping with.
Yeah.
The girlfriend he had on Caprica beforehand, I guess.
like
He has no clue how to handle women.
for
He
somebody
needs
who,
to switch teams.
for somebody who genetically was set up to be a ladies' man,
Yeah.
he has no clue.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. I mean, the guy is built. Do you know he's Australian in real life too?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, son of a bitch!
He's
The
got-
rich get richer.
I know, right? Oh my gosh, Jamie Bamba. I like it.
Mm.
So, anyways,
It's a good looking man.
Yeah.
so what's kind of sad though is
How
so
pathetic D is?
how pathetic D is.
Yes.
How so? Tell me.
She just, I don't like her.
Really?
I don't like D. She just, I don't know.
Because of her
I think
wavering
Billy's
between
pathetic.
men.
I think Billy's pathetic too.
Oh, Billy.
I know.
Yeah.
No, but he's like, will you marry me? She's like, no.
It's
What
my
do you mean?
It's my class ring,
I know.
which they don't have jewelry, so that makes sense now.
I don't have any issue with her saying no.
Oh, I don't have any issue with her saying no. I have an issue with her saying no and then trying to bang Lee in
She was
basically
trying to-
the same day.
She was trying to bang Lee earlier, to be fair.
But she,
keep in mind-
hold on.
When you try to bang Lee,
Yes.
Instead of Billy?
I'm not holding that against her.
Oh, Billy.
I'm not holding that against her. What I'm saying is, so she, just a couple episodes, she went to Lee, and Lee was like, "What do you mean us? Like, there's no
Yeah.
us." Where does she go? Right back to Billy.
Oh, Billy.
you could talk through it. You don't have to stop.
Yeah. We
No,
don't have-
no. Right back to Billy, and they're doing sit-ups, and they're just, you know. So she's using him, leading him on.
yeah. He's the fallback guy.
He's got her on. She has Billy on a leash.
Yeah, but not even. It's not even that. It's until. I just don't. Why? How are they going back to Lee again? Why were they going back on a date?
That's on the
after-
right. That's on the writers, though. That's a lot of inconsistencies there.
This whole relationship triangle is very inconsistent.
This last 4 episodes, it's the last couple episodes, because I feel like this show has done a really good job until more recently with these.
They
things.
really
They've
ha-
taken some
Well, if they
leaps.
extended the season, you can tell this is the extension of the season
Yes,
because I
You
don't.
got to fill it with drama.
Well, you never would have saw. I don't think you would have saw this earlier, where all of a sudden it was this Lee hint, and then
The
she
will
goes
they,
back.
won't they?
Then she goes back to Billy, and then it goes back to Lee, and it's inconsistent. Which I don't think the show really has been overly inconsistent up till now.
yeah.
But so, I don't understand.
Billy,
Oh, Billy.
I just don't understand. Like,
how she's attracted to Billy in the first place?
Oh,
well, there's that.
Yeah.
But he looks.
Hey,
like,
he got some balls this week, though.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
He
It was
did.
nice to see Billy's balls.
But he's
then-
always in
but
like
then,
a half undone suit, and his hair's always disheveled, and he looks like he's like always
he
sweating.
looks like a child.
He does look like a
he
child.
does.
Well,
Billy
she
does look
says
young.
Oh, Billy.
Anytime Billy gets said, it's happening. I'm sorry. Oops, sorry, I double clicked it. But you know what sucks though is like he's plotting on how to take the weapon, and Dee's like, "You're not a man. Don't go and try that." Like,
No, she said you're not trained.
I know, but like it was
We know
basically.
what
And
she
she,
meant.
she had a point.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
did.
He
He's
died.
not-
Billy died, didn't he?
Yeah, but he died saving the woman he loves.
Every once in a while, I gotta add the rest. Of
Heck
it.
yeah, you
Sorry.
do.
Yeah.
Do you think? I mean, obviously, I think he did that to try to impress,
To try to win her. No,
try to win her a little
I actually think it was more like, what do I have to live for? The girl that I love doesn't love me.
No, I don't think it was that at all. I think he was trying to
I
have
wasn't
bravado.
thinking it was suicidal, but I think it was like
bit. No.
I think Billy wanted to show bravado.
I think so too.
and win her back.
Not
because
not even
Not win her
necessarily.
back, but like just show her a different side of him that
What
she doesn't think exists.
what she's.
I think the
losing.
implication there was he looked at Lee. Billy looked at Lee.
He should have
and
just
said-
shot Lee.
Yeah, right. He looked at Lee and he said, "Okay, there's this military type, this hero," and he saw his moment to say, "I can be that too."
and Dee's drawn to him.
Yeah, and I don't think it was necessarily for D. He was just wanting to make himself feel better in the long run.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
unfortunately, I don't think there's anything Billy can do about his jawline.
Yeah, it's true. Or those biceps.
No, you can do that.
That'd take a while.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't look like Lee. You're never gonna
No,
look like
you're not
Lee.
going to look like Lee.
Yeah, I look at Lee and I go, man, those arms.
But Lee rejected D. So,
No, he didn't.
but Well, we thought he did, and then now he's out with drink. Now
Well,
out to drinks,
Here's the thing that could have
all
happened off
dressed
screen.
up, ready to.
They
I
could
mean,
have had conversations off screen. We
Yeah.
don't know about.
You don't have. Oh, yeah. I guess.
Plus, Lee
You
was
gotta-
going through some crap that last episode, which was a crappy episode.
He just tried to do. Listen, he just tried to have sex with Starbuck.
In all fairness, it was Starbuck trying to have sex
It
with him.
seems like in this
In all
universe, though,
fairness,
I'm just kidding.
He would have done it if she
oh, for
would
sure.
if she would have answered his questions.
Oh, he was into it.
it seems
I was
like in
being-
this universe they play a little bit
adversarial.
more fast and loose with sex. Like it doesn't
Oh, for
seem
sure.
like there's more like
Except for if you're Billy.
the
He doesn't get
relationships are a
Yeah, but
little
if you know
more
death is-
loosey goosey.
If you know death is basically imminent,
Yeah.
what are you gonna? Who cares?
Well,
Death is not
and
Nicole.
remember, we said they gotta procreate. We gotta
Listen,
start making
great-
babies.
Yeah, listen, Grey's Anatomy does it.
Yeah.
Why can't Battlestar Galactica?
Yeah. Why can't they? Right?
They just
If not-
did a Hollow Suite.
This was what 2006, 5 now.
Yeah, like 2005, 4.
So this is the point where Grey's Anatomy was everybody was sneaking off into rooms.
2006, February 10th, 2006 was
This
the
is
original
season
air date.
2 of Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
Everybody was having sex in season
Who's Grey?
3, 2 or 3.
Except for poor George.
Yeah, I know.
Wait, didn't George hook up with Izzy at one point though?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
he did.
This is scary.
But he wanted to be with Meredith the whole time.
Is there a Billy on Grey's Anatomy?
I don't know
no,
if there is.
I don't believe there's ever been a Billy. That was a main character.
Oh,
All right.
There may have been a patient. I don't know.
So going back into this, let's continue talking about the Battlestar characters because let's talk about how Starbuck continues to be a mess. They decide to send her in as the repair person, and her goal is to only do recon. Like that's what they said. You're only recon. That's your job. And then Ellen is the tell sign.
Yeah, Ellen
like makes the face, and
Of
the one
course
woman.
it's Ellen.
of course it's Ellen.
And and
Can we just kill Ellen? Can we just do it?
she's just give him. She's a machine. Like she's panicking the whole time. She's,
Ellen. Ellen
She's
is all
about
about
herself.
Ellen. All
Yeah.
about Ellen.
Oh, for sure.
I mean,
as soon as something goes awry, she's like, "Yeah, just give them what they want."
it's very consistent with her character. I mean, she is a
Oh
selfish,
yeah,
terrible
I'm not saying
person.
this isn't on the writers. This is a great job writing this
they-
character.
yeah.
and
It's
she's
consistent.
it is consistent.
I mean, and she fits. Again, going back to the bathroom scene, it's just so great. Doesn't even think twice about cheating on her husband. She's just like, okay,
Okay, we're doing this.
we're doing this.
Now, okay,
Lee, you
Now-
dirty dog.
Ah.
I don't know.
But
It's consistent with her character. This scene I'm about to bring up. I don't know if I'm reading too much into it. When she's at the bar and Lee approaches to get more drinks and is like, "Oh, Ellen." The guy that's next to her that ends up being one of the terrorists gets up and leaves. And Ellen gives him a look like, "Oh man, he's leaving." Like she was gonna try.
she's gonna bang
Yeah,
him.
she was gonna try to flirt with this guy.
In all
I'm
fairness,
sure
I think she would have flirted with anybody in there.
I think
I think Ellen's down to bang at all times.
Oh
She
yeah,
just
I mean,
wants
her
to bang
husband's a
any-
drunk who probably can't perform.
Wow, you putting that on Ty?
Oh, God.
You putting that on me?
100%.
Why are you saying that about me, Joe?
What about Ty gives you confidence that he could perform?
I prefer. He's probably an angry sex guy.
No.
I don't think their relationship is sexual really at all.
I don't think so
Well, you
either.
saw
I
it. You
think
saw it in the
it's
show already.
I know, but I think overall it's an emotionally
But that was her.
abusive.
That was like her, like being,
throwing himself at him.
I
think it's an emotionally and abusive relationship, and sometimes physically abusive between both of them,
Mm-hmm.
working both ways. Actually, more towards him, towards her, towards him.
Yeah,
and he takes
but
it.
I think she recognizes that he's.
She takes it. What's up?
But I think she recognizes that he's just a drunk, and she can pretty much get away with doing whatever she
Oh
wants.
yeah, she knows she can manipulate Ty easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he is a very easy person to manipulate because he's usually drunk.
Yeah.
It's very similar to the XO of the Pegasus.
Be gone.
Where he was a drunk and he was able to manipulate him. It probably works the other way too. But let's go back to Starbuck here.
Mm-hmm.
Her cover really was blown.
Oh yeah, it's
So
100% blown.
what was she supposed? And this is part where I'm like, what was she supposed to do?
Starbuck.
Starbuck, yeah.
I don't. At this
I don't
point,
think she was in the wrong.
At this point, I don't think she's done anything wrong.
That's my thing. I don't think she's done anything wrong. And then she comes out guns blazing and accidentally shoots Lee. I mean, there's that. That's kind of a
I think-
oopsie.
I think that. I mean,
Lee wasn't even in range. She had
Are
to
you-
go.
Are you sure?
well, no, she had two, so she had her arms like. She had the Creed thing going where she had her arms wide open.
Yeah. With her arms wide open. on the sunrise.
In the restaurant.
Welcome
Okay. Stop.
show you where
Please stop for the listener's sake. Please stop.
I made one joke.
Originally, I'm
Joe?
like,
Creed joke. That's on me.
originally I'm
F
like,
you.
why?
That is
Why
on
were
me?
you talking about Creed Bratton? I was confused, and then I realized
That's on me, listeners.
you were looking to elevate this.
734-494-0980.
Can you please send Joe hate messages?
I
for that?
realized it wasn't Creed Bratton you were talking about. You wanted to take this conversation higher.
Also,
Can you
734-494-0980
take
to send
me
Nick hate. But it's ultimately Joe's fault.
to a place where golden strands. Okay,
We were having a decent discussion.
we were. I ruined it. I'm sorry.
And I made an ill-timed joke. This is on me. I should never joke about Creed. Nobody should ever joke about Creed. Nobody should ever even mention Creed.
They had some good bangers back in the day, though.
Did a few.
Yeah. So,
But at this point,
Starbuck,
I
you're,
don't
you're
think-
not blaming her for her shots. Her errant
no.
shots.
At the point the cover gets blown, I don't think she's done anything wrong.
Okay.
I think her downward spiral, and please no 9 Inch Nails jokes. I think her downward.
That's not as fun.
I want you like an
That
animal.
gets a
There we
little
go.
more depressing, actually.
I want to feel you from the inside.
No, it's Rob. Jesus.
I'm not seeing her like that.
You bring me closer to God. Sorry.
At that point,
Off the rails.
at that point, I think her downward spiral takes over, where like I think she's continually in a state of. Kat made this point earlier. This is what I wanted to say.
You're dangerous, Starbuck.
No, she said you're another tie on the ship or whatever.
Yeah, good one.
And that's a good point.
Got
Ty
her.
he's continually drunk. He's a functioning alcoholic at this point. Where I think Starbuck is becoming that. Where she's go ahead.
I think last episode would have been better after this episode for Starbuck.
Yeah, because the reason why she became a
Or
wreck,
accelerated so quickly is after this.
she almost killed Lee.
I think that's because I don't
That's
even.
a good point.
It is a good point because you could easily flip flop these two and lose no continuity.
You would not.
Nick should have told us to. This is on Nick again.
I mean, that would have made more sense for the run order.
Yeah.
Actually,
But
I'm curious how they were filmed.
no, I think the thing about with her shooting Lee is like she's lost all control now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think because I don't think she would have shot him in a chaotic moment if she wasn't on this continually downward slide.
I agree with you to a certain extent, but there's also a lot of chaos. He was moving, and I don't know if he moved
Yeah.
into line of fire. Because that could have been it too. Because the way they were portraying it is there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of moving parts, including Lee trying to get to somebody. I don't remember who it was.
Who was
But
it?
I think it was happenstance. But to your point, yeah, you got to control that atmosphere. But there were so many things going on that I don't know if you can, especially if you're two-handing.
Mm-hmm.
Controlling weapons with two hands is very, very difficult.
Okay, but she
It
could have
is.
just drawn one gun. She didn't need to draw both.
Right.
She was
And-
trying to take out as many assailants as possible at the same time.
And
But
so
she's a trained military officer. She knows firsthand that doing that is not as effective as one
and so
gun.
and I don't.
Unless
I'm
you're-
not a.
Unless
Have
you're
you watched
drunk.
movies?
I know. If you watch John Wick,
Have you watched Headshot? Actually,
Yeah.
he doesn't usually use two guns a lot.
no.
Okay, none of us are like trained military tactical people, so I don't
speak
know.
for yourself.
So I don't know exactly like what her objective is. Recon, right?
Yeah.
And that is assess the scene, get information, get as much information as you can without.
How many guns are there on there? How many hostages?
At the point where shit goes awry, I don't feel like she's really assessed anything. I didn't really. She
She
didn't really.
was.
she
No,
didn't-
she was
did.
looking around.
She was looking around. She was canvassing. 100% she was.
Okay,
Yeah,
maybe
I saw
maybe I
that.
missed that. It just didn't seem like she got a good sense of the scene
Mm-hmm.
enough to
All you needed
start. whipping out weapons and shooting everybody.
All you needed to do is go in. Well, she didn't know. Remember, they were dressed in civilian clothes too. So to get 100% accuracy, you're right. But she went in there. She surveyed. You could get the count. You can get the weapons pretty quickly of at least the majority of the people there.
Mm-hmm.
Her job was almost done, but then Ty had to ruin it.
Ellen had to.
God. She just,
Can we call Ellen Karen?
Yeah, we get Space Karen.
Let's just change her name.
I don't know that. I thought the terrorist was a kind of a Karen about stuff. The lady.
She
the
was
terrorist
so
lady.
mad about losing her. Wasn't.
But I can actually understand their point. Like,
Yeah.
these Cylons used us, and you're keeping a Cylon? Like, no.
But finally somebody made the point that I've been making for a couple weeks now about keeping the Cylon around for informational purposes.
You're right.
It's the only source of information. Why destroy that? We're gonna use it. I think it was the old man who made that point.
Right. Exactly.
I think he made it to Ty or the president.
Well, because Ty was originally so there was originally a storyline in here where it was going to be Ty versus Rosalind and Adama, where Ty's like turn her over, and they eliminated that storyline. But you can kind of see fruits of it still, where Adama's like, "We're not turning her over" to Ty, and he's like, "I know." So there was something there originally.
And how dumb, how stupid does Adama think these terrorists are? Obviously, very.
I think he was
because
looking
he sends
looking to buy minutes.
Yeah, I think he was just looking to buy that moment to get in there.
He said it was a calculated risk. I thought it was hilarious.
And Rosalind called him on it, right? Didn't Rosalind say what did she? I can't remember what she said.
Was it worth it?
Yeah.
It
wasn't worth it
because she was mourning Billy.
Oh, was it worth it? Okay.
She was mourning Billy.
I do like though how they showed the difference in command between Ty and Adama and Rosalind. Adama and Rosalind and Ty all had someone they loved on Cloud 9, right?
Oh, Billy.
Yes.
You missed two Billies.
You missed two Billies.
The actual audio of Rosalind.
Yeah. So they had someone they loved on there. Lee was on there, and then her aide was on there, and then Ellen was on there as well. And everyone was on the same page. And then the second Ellen's life was at threat, Ty's like, give them what they want. Give them what they want. Like, it shows you he cannot command without putting his emotions in the play. Where Adama and Rosalind both were able
As
to.
soon as Ty says something, I'm immediately like, okay, eliminate that as an option.
He's Worf on the Enterprise where
oh my
remember?
gosh.
Yeah. He'd suggest something. Picard was always like, fuck off.
Yeah. He would never listen to Worf. Poor Worf. I mean, granted, Worf always wanted to kill, which is...
Ray Shields fire.
Yeah.
Why is Ty so attached to Ellen?
Think about it, Joe.
But hold on,
she's an attractive lady.
I still maintain that he can't perform.
Maybe he can. Maybe that's his.
Maybe as a functional drunk, he's figured it all out.
Maybe on the black market, he's getting Viagra.
He's a stim addict.
He's a stim addict.
I don't know. She can't be that good. She's incredibly annoying.
Crazy hot scale.
She's not that hot though.
I'm just saying.
I think she's an attractive lady.
Attractive, but she's not hot enough to be that crazy. That's the crazy hot scale.
For Ty, she is like upper echelon.
She's way out of Ty's league.
Exactly. So that you got to think about Ty.
The crazy hot scale is skewed then.
It is. Yeah. So the crazy hot scale is
subjective.
It is subjective to each person.
To each individual.
Okay, I see. I did.
Yeah, the
I didn't
crazy
realize
hot scale adjusts.
Okay.
Yes.
It's fluent.
It is.
It is a living document. It's like the Constitution.
Yeah, I think there are people that are outside that realm who always would be on the crazy hot scale consistently among people.
Like me.
Like Nick.
Mm-hmm.
But I think basically overall it's based upon that individual.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else that sticks out this episode you want to talk? Oh, here's one thing I wanted to mention. Starbuck. There were scenes cut with her. Starbuck's presence on Cloud 9 was explained by showing her about to sleep with a man she had just met. This was intended as a counterpoint to Lee pursuing a relationship with Dee rather than Starbuck, and as a further demonstration of Starbuck's self-destruction over her feelings about Sam.
Okay. I know that this isn't even in the episode, so I don't. Why am I going to make a point about this? But
go for it.
That's hypocritical. because she was just gonna sleep with Lee while she's mourning the loss of her.
Well, and the reason why it's cut is Moore noted that showing this in Sacrifice would have contradicted the previous episode Scar.
Yeah,
And-
but we're
in
not.
which Starbuck
They've been
finds-
contradicting themselves for 3 episodes now.
Yeah.
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 So
Just with
why,
D alone.
why cut it?
Poor D and Billy.
We didn't even mention that this was a guest appearance by Dana Delaney. Actually.
She did a really good job, I thought.
She did. It was a small role, but it was an interesting role.
Mhm.
She played the character well,
She emoted very well.
and I get why she was the way she was. Like, I could
She
see
could have
this
used that pain to
becoming.
become Batman, though.
Must have been a good husband.
I actually appreciate how splintered they're showing this fleet, because they just went through this super traumatic experience. It's not going to be kumbaya. We're going to do all what Adama says. We're not going to follow. Like, people are pissed and people
Well,
want answers.
Yes, but I think the reason it's so splintered is it's out that they're harboring Cylons now.
And they're not doing a good
They're-
job explaining why they're harboring
Right.
Cylons. Because if he just said,
And
to the
who
fleet-
who was it? Oh, it was who? It was Billy that said it was, wasn't it? Wasn't it Billy
Yeah.
that said it to
just
the president?
tell them you're
Just-
using her as a source of information.
Yeah,
Yeah, just come out with the information.
and she
she's
goes,
like,
that's simple, huh?
yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it really is.
Oh,
Like,
I
we
thought
know-
her
we know
saying
that-
that simple was a way of being like, you're really smart. Like, you're right. It is that simple.
No, I
I
don't.
think it was demeaning.
I think it was somewhere in between.
Okay, fair
I
enough.
think it was a little bit of like, oh, you think it's that simple, huh? And then
Maybe it is.
maybe it is, sort of thing. But like,
Well, we know it didn't work out for them by lying, because look what happened.
right?
Multiple
But I
people
really,
died.
I really do. And again, I take the Baltar approach. I really do think it is compounding every single time that they
yes.
like mislead the public or the fleet or anything. You're compounding your basically your treason.
yeah.
like-
exactly. You're,
but-
I would ask the question, though, does the public need to know about military secrets?
I would say that question at this point is irrelevant because they do know.
Okay.
I don't.
Or
I
they
would-
they're I thought it was more of a rumor at this point.
Well, no, there was like news. It was rumored, but
News
it's being,
articles
it's
and
being,
pictures
it's
of
being,
her.
Yeah, because at the beginning of the episode, you're right.
it's being reported in the media outlets for weeks now.
yeah.
And I think to your point, if it hadn't been out, the answer is no. Do I need to know about military secrets that nobody knows about right now? No. It's not as the public, it's not. I don't believe it's really my place. There's a fine line there, I think, but I think there is value in the public not knowing everything.
Well, yeah, because like when I worked at a prior job, I had access to national security reports.
Right.
And no, we don't want
Because
no,
you can't
don't
trust
want-
the general public with all the information, and
Plus,
it does compromise national security or the security of the fleet.
yeah.
Or missions or any.
Well, and I think in this situation, it would be the equivalent of us finding out some big national security secret, but us getting it almost completely wrong. So the government having to come out and reveal more, so we're on the same page. So it doesn't cause more distrust or riots or whatever it may be. And I can't think of a good example of that. I don't know. Maybe it comes out tomorrow that Kennedy was killed by the government, so they would have to come out and release more information on it to help. I mean,
yeah,
we
but,
did
but,
kill Kennedy, but
But to that example, like that's insignificant now. That plays
it has
no.
to be something in real time.
Right.
Yeah, I can't
And I
think
think
of a good.
I don't even
example
know
of
that there is a good example, but I do think that coming out and saying, "Here's the deal. It's being reported X, Y, and Z." That's not really everything that's happening here.
Yeah.
Yes, we have this Cylon. It's captive. We're not working with the Cylon. We're using the Cylon to gain information on our enemy so that we can further put ourselves in a place of strategic advantage. Something like that.
Yeah.
And I think, again, you garner a lot of goodwill. I think you're not going to convince everybody that you're telling the truth, but you will alleviate a significant portion of the distrust and all that. And I really do think that Billy, I really do think that it is kind of that simple.
Okay.
You're not gonna. It's not a wholesale solution, but it will alleviate as much as you possibly can.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's already out. Tell them why you have her.
And I think the same is with Baltar, but a long time ago. It's like, well, yeah, you screwed up once or twice. Just come clean and say, okay, here's the deal. I kind of really didn't know what I was doing, and I was kind of afraid because I
got duped and that.
But here's the deal. I do know that there's a Cylon. I found out. And then you go from there.
So I would say that Baltar's a little different because in the beginning they weren't really aware of how many Cylons were around and hiding in the fleet, and they weren't aware of the emotional manipulation of them. So if he told them right away, I think he's still going in the brig, and he's like, they're going to airlock him at some point. If he waits until after Space Boomer shoots Adama, and Adama wakes up, and then he tells him at that point, I think Adama's going to be like, yeah, because they got me too.
Right.
But they didn't have the full information. So I think Baltar, honestly, for self-preservation, made the right move initially. Now, has he made it worse? Absolutely. I mean, you can't give Cylons nukes and be like, no, I'm not working with them.
Or freedom fighters, whatever they now
Freedom fighters. Yeah.
So can we say one thing that I really liked about this episode and the last episode?
Yeah.
Baltar wasn't in it. Oh man, I was
we've
like,
got a Baltar break.
Yes.
I'm trying to think if there's been a character like that in other shows that you just never want to see them ever.
JD?
You.
I'm trying to think in Star Trek terms. Like, would there be a Star Trek character where it's like
a regular?
Yeah.
Neelix.
Neelix? Oh, Neelix. But what about a Deep Space Nine character?
A regular?
Yeah.
Ezri, probably.
Ezri. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. I get. Although I a little bit came around on Ezri towards the
What
end.
about Worf for you? Worf episodes?
I don't know. Yeah, kind of. In a way.
Especially on Risa.
That-
Where
that-
he's like nuking the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a baby.
But in a way, he was just kind of a dud character.
Yeah, he was.
Not anymore.
Not in Picard. He's great.
Yeah, he's great in Picard.
He's really good.
I guess I need
Well,
to
speaking
see
of Picard, so we were just talking about Baltar. I figured out what's wrong with Jack. 6 is in his head.
Oh, maybe that's what's happening. He's talking to Six the whole time.
Yeah, she's all like manipulation.
Yeah, it could be.
Earth.
All right, let me give you some notes from Sacrifice. Let's see.
Todd, let's talk about they finally. I've always heard how no one's safe on the show, and everybody's been safe on the show for a while, but they finally killed a character, Billy.
I did like that final scene with Rosalind mourning over his dead body, fixing his hair, and because she looked at him like a child, like her kid,
Like his son.
actually, yeah. And her like holding on to the deck like she was falling over because she was mourning, and then Adama is just staunch, standing in front of the dead body of Space Boomer the whole time.
And listening, watching her.
Yeah, and not reacting really. Like,
He's
and what's
Van Damming it.
and this is actually, oh gosh, I just thought about this. I wonder if it was a creative choice by them to show him standing over the bed of a dead Cylon instead of his son in a hospital bed. Who's
His son's alive.
I don't know though. Like his son, well, when he wasn't in the brig, was in the hospital by his dad's side.
Can we talk about them hurting Billy again? Or not Billy, sorry, Lee.
Lee's
Like-
just getting shot.
Like one, there's like every other episode now.
It was
Well,
kind of like
there's only 46,000 people. They're gonna have to cycle back to.
it's kind of like O'Brien in Deep Space Nine, where all the bad stuff happens to him.
That was their running gag. I thought that was actually pretty funny.
It was pretty good.
What are we doing there, O'Brien, this season?
Let's see. Anything?
That's why he
stood out?
became more crotchety as
I
the
know.
seasons went on.
Okay, so
Hard time was so
a
good.
note from Moore. Ronald D. Moore felt the episode fell short in several respects. He felt that the episode did not spend enough time with Abenel, giving the audience to understand how the loss of her husband radicalized her after the loss of the colonies did not. Good point. He said Delaney's strong performance made up for some of this. He hoped there would be more tension surrounding how Adama, Rosalind, and Ty each had a loved one in the bar. He also disliked how Starbucks Raid was filmed and thought the script fell short by not explaining why the Marines didn't storm the bar from the back through the passage where Lee tampers with the oxygen sector.
From the back.
Moore emphasized that he believed the episode's shortcomings were his responsibility as showrunner, which he always takes the credit when
Takes the heat.
Ronald Moore is a stand-up guy.
I want to talk to him again just so I can listen to him talk writing process again.
Yeah,
I'm interested. I know we talked. He in our episode where we interviewed
about the
him.
writers' room.
He did discuss Battlestar Galactica a little bit, but we did talk a lot because at the time we were
You
doing
had
Star
not,
Trek.
neither
But
have seen it.
I really do want to have another conversation with him to discuss the differences in approach. Now that we understand a little bit of how each show is written, all three of us, because you would, if we had that conversation back then, you would understand, but we wouldn't. And I because I do feel like they're written similarly, but there are nuanced differences.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. There are very, very much so.
I wonder if he enjoyed the freedom of being able to be a bit more pervasive.
Well, and not
with violence and sexuality,
but not only that, but not being so handicapped by canon as well.
Canon and Roddenberry.
Established canon.
Roddenberry. Well, Roddenberry was already dead,
But he's still they
But they
fought
still
against his
tried to-
ideals
yeah.
a lot. When is Nana's episode on Battlestar Galactica?
later.
Like 3, 4.
I think
what
it's
season?
4. I think it's 3.
We should see if she come back on as we for that episode.
Na 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 na. Make you say na 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 na.
Visitor.
Visitor.
I'm disappointed that you missed out on the Creed song "My Sacrifice" for this episode.
Yeah.
I'm just I was trying to help you. I don't like that song.
Oh, really? You were trying to help
I was
me
trying
with.
to help you. So Moore ultimately said he called it a decent episode, not my favorite, but I don't think it's a disaster. So that was his response.
I would disagree with our Lord and Savior Ron.
You said you would?
All right,
I would disagree.
Oh, wow.
let's go to ratings, shall we?
Sure.
Sure.
All right, let's start off with the first one. We got Scar. Be prepared.
I'm going to give both of these episodes a 7
No, you're not.
combined.
7 combined. Okay. So
I'm going to give
Scar's
this episode
worse.
a 3.
A 3. Okay. So that means Sacrifice is a 4 for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Rob gives Scar a 2. What do you give Sacrifice?
Sacrifice? I don't know. I for some reason I liked it. Maybe it's because Scar was so terrible
Yeah.
or wasn't very good. I'm going to go with 6.
6.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would say Scar to me was a 5
What?
and Sacrifice is a 5. I didn't think Scar was that bad.
I just was uninterested.
I was like visibly irritated the entire time watching
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And-
I want to watch one when you're visibly irritated. Can you record yourself when you're getting like that?
Literally, this is me. Oh, come on. Really?
Can you?
Oh, Jesus Christ. What the?
I need to.
Oh, my God. What are we doing?
I need
and
you to-
there's nobody around, and it's me looking around. What are we doing here, guys?
What are we doing?
I need a favor from you. When you notice yourself going down that hole, I need you to record yourself because I need to put that in social media or on the end of a YouTube broadcast.
Okay.
I need that, and I will promise the same.
Nick, are there bad episodes coming up?
Well, they trend back up again. So like Black Market was a 6.4 on IMDb.
6.4.
Well,
Out of 50.
keep in mind the IMDb average for that season was 8 overall. So 6.4. Scar was a 7.3. Sacrifice was a 7.1. So the next episode,
Fanboys, they have to be.
we got a 7.7 episode coming up by IMDb, an 8.4, an 8, and an 8.7. To put that in perspective, the highest rated episode of season 2 was Pegasus at a 9.
Okay.
So it sounds like there's a run of pretty good episodes coming up.
It looks like I
Well,
said.
we're into
solid or
we're
above.
getting into the end game for the season 2, right?
To Nick's point, they said they had to put some filler in here, so maybe this is
Yeah.
a filler.
There,
Oh, this absolutely
this-
felt like filler.
This run here, these last 4 in general, after Resurrection Ship, feels like filler to me.
If
it was a 26 episode season, and you got to throw those episodes together. That's what this is.
So how many episodes are in this season? 20?
20.
I feel like this could have been a solid 15 episode season.
Exactly. Well, this
And I
is
think- I
like,
think
well,
that-
it goes with our discussions on DS9 too, where we're like, oh my gosh, they could have easily made the season shorter and it would have been superior. This is a different era of film writing still, right? Now, Battlestar Galactica is finally now fully into that realized, serialized storytelling, but they haven't got to the shorter seasons yet that now all shows do.
Can you?
Which Picard is. thriving from.
This doesn't necessarily have much to do with Battlestar Galactica, I don't think. But can you confirm, was it 2009 was the writer's strike?
Ooh, good call.
Writers strike 2009.
Or was it 2008?
2007, 2008.
Okay. So I wonder, because where's this season 2? We got 2 more seasons, and we're in 2005. I wonder, does this show
Doesn't get affected by
wrap
it.
up before the strike?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Then I was just curious.
Oh wait, maybe not. Well, yes. Because the final season started airing April 4th of 2008 and was done by March 20th of 2009.
So presumably that would have been written by the end of 2007. Probably,
Actually though,
Maybe.
like with the large gap between the beginning and because April of 2008 and ends in March, so 11 months for season 4. So that was broken up. So I bet you the writer's strike affected that.
Okay. I'm just curious because no spoilers, but the writer's strike really affected Lost.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, did it?
100%. I mean, number of episodes wise, but quality of content wise as well. Those middle seasons, they dropped to like 13, 14, 15 episodes or something.
Yep.
Only the first 12 episodes of season 4 were filmed before the strike.
There it is.
After the strike, the final episodes began.
I'm not that dumb.
You get any further in Scrubs?
You are.
God, no.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen. You can find us
That hurt.
where?
Nick.
On Twitter.
Yeah, at Cardassians Pod.
At Cardassians Pod.
Over on Instagram, keeping_up_Cardassians. YouTube.
Reddit.
Did you start TikTok yet, Nick?
No, I still haven't got around to it.
YouTube, y'all.
It's Holy
Patreon.
Week, man. I'm busy.
Yeah.
I'm busy.
Patreon, y'all.
I sent Rob a TikTok that we could all do.
Did you really?
It's a game. It's a dumb game.
Okay.
Like there's like rubber bands on the ankles, and you just snap them and go around.
Oh,
That'd be brutal.
that'd be brutal.
But you have like kazoos in your mouth, and whoever like
Makes
you
the sound.
can't make any noise.
That's a great game.
Patreon.
Should we pour out a sip for? By the way,
In memorandum.
because Billy's gone.
Since he's a child, I'll drink my last sip of chocolate milk for him.
Yes. Okay. But find us on all those places. We'd love to have you.
Yeah. Check out our new twat.
We don't do that anymore.
There we go, for real.
Wrong button, Nick.
But it worked.
Yeah, it works.
Anyways, everyone, it's been great keeping up with you. Make sure you keep an eye on our YouTube content, as you know, on Saturdays, Picard reviews. And then join our Patreon, because we got material for our PBs. We love you. Bye!
Thanks for keeping up with us.
Consider yourself an accessory. Someone to catch these words is a necessity. You can't deny that the blame isn't yours. If you're hearing this, you're an accomplice in there. I got the best. I got the best. I got the best listeners. Am I guilty of being word burglars? Sure, but if you're hearing this, you're an accomplice in there.
That's funny. That's too good.
You taking this long for another question?
I'm trying to find one that you won't get because it'll just make me more angry. Who played Captain Pike's first officer in The Cage?
Major Barrett.
Yeah, and she did the voice for the Red Alert and
Yeah.
Click Locks on.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I know that. I know that. I know. Which comedian had a role written for them in Star Trek? I can't read Roman numerals. That's his IV. But ultimate that.
Eddie Murphy.
God, I hate the I don't like you.